G'day, ZiggYD here, and yes, that was my new man mug. I'm very happy to have finally gotten that. I've been looking for a long time for a really good and satisfying manly drinking receptacle, and I found what is essentially a soup dish, but it satisfies me in the amount of liquid it can hold. I really hate having 200ml glasses. When I want to drink, I want like at least 500 mils or more. So I usually end up, just drinking straight out of a massive bottle. When I'm at the computer, I don't want to get up every 5 minutes for a drink. I like to consume lots of water or lots of other drinks, and yeah, I need a bit of space. Also going glasses free for the ZiggYD Weekly this week, because the screen reflection, it annoys me. I need to figure out some way to deal with that. I don't really need to see anything. Sure, I don't need to see you guys. You just need to see me. And, I talk. That's the thing I do. Anyway, let's jump into the ZiggYD Weekly. I'm a bit crazy at the moment because I'm still coming down off my sickness, and I am on a bunch of cold and flu medicine. So just throwing that out there. Anyway, let's first jump in with what I put out on my channel this past week. And not too much, because I kind of got sick halfway through it. But HearthStone, I got a HearthStone beta key, and I started covering that. I did a first impressions review, and you should check that out. I think that's a pretty good video. But I did some other coverage of it, but I'm pretty rubbish at the game. I'm pretty bad. So yeah, I'm sure many of you guys have been happy to point that out to me in the comments, and I actually don't mind that. I don't mind if you call me terrible, because I'm pretty terrible at the moment. And, I certainly appreciate any gameplay tips in those videos telling me what I could have done better, because I like to go back and check those out and learn from those mistakes. But I'm getting a lot better. I've been playing quite a bit. I'm really hooked on the game. It's super, super fun. I've never played a collectible card game like this before. I had Pokemon cards in primary school, but I barely even played the actual Pokemon game. I think a lot of kids did that. But yeah, I've never really played a game like this, and it's grabbed me. It feels like the perfect combination. I'm probably going to make a video on why I think this game is going to be amazing and huge, because it's really, really cool. But yeah, expect more coverage of that, but I'll talk about that in a second. Also, I started talking about the Diablo III expansion pack with just a summary. I gave a summary and some thoughts on what's been announced so far, so go check that out. I'll put, as usual, every week, I'll put all the links in the description below for you guys to check out. But go check that out. So far, I think what's been announced for the Diablo III expansion pack is awesome. It looks really, really sick, and I'm keen to break that down a bit more too. I also covered the Reave skill and the new unique items in the Path of Exile patch 0.4, so if you've been waiting on those, go check that out as well. Links in the description. Anyway, what's coming up? Because this is much more exciting, what's coming up for this week. Firstly, better Hearthstone coverage. As I said, I'm getting better at the game. I'm going to start looking into making some guides, like beginner guides, based on what I've learnt. The process I go through with all of these new games whenever I pick them up. When I start a new game, I'm rubbish. I'm a guide maker, but when I start a new game, just like you guys, I'm pretty rubbish. Especially when it's a game in a genre I've never played before. I apply myself, I read a ton, I play a ton, I watch a ton, I watch streams, I watch videos, I read, I gather as much information as I can, I learn, put all that stuff in, put it in the boiler of my brain, and then give it out to you guys in the form of guides. And that should be starting up this week coming. I'm probably going to kick things off with like a beginner's guide to the priest hero, and some things you can do with that deck, because I've been having pretty good success with it, and I'm starting to feel like these little things, these cogs are turning in my head, and I'm starting to understand that. So if you're keen on the new Hearthstone game, which you should be because it's awesome, then look forward to that. I'm going to be starting to do maybe not daily coverage, but pretty often coverage. I might mix it up between guides and doing some commentaries of matches, because a lot of people just want to consume as much Hearthstone content at the moment as I can, because it's it's in closed beta at the moment. It's pretty hard to get a key as well. So next up, Final Fantasy XIV NDA will lift in about a day or two. We don't know exactly. Square Enix have been pushing this NDA like crazy. I don't understand it. Tychus. Yeah, Tychus likes to bark in my recordings sometimes. Sorry about that. This is a more casual video every week, so yeah, you guys have to just deal with that. Anyway, where was I? Final Fantasy XIV's NDA will be lifting. Square Enix has been pushing back this NDA like crazy. It blows my mind that there's still an NDA in the early access, let alone the open beta as well. Like the open beta, I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy to have an open beta with an NDA. And now with early access still being under NDA, I'm like, I want to make videos on this game, jeez. But Probably a good thing in the end because I have been crook and I haven't been able to make any videos. Anyway, but once that NDA lifts, I'm probably going to give you guys daily coverage for at least like a month. Like, I'm keen to play this game. There's just so much to talk about, so many videos to make. So I might give you guys daily coverage on that. And I'll just be, as I've played the game a ton already. So there's a lot of stuff I can already share for you guys that I've already taken in. I've done a ton of reading. Pretty, hooked on that game as well at the moment. But we'll see how it goes in the future. As you guys might have seen in my recently uploaded video, Square Enix hasn't been handling the game as best they could, so I'm a little bit nervous for the future of it, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. But expect some initial coverage at least, because the game is a lot of fun, and I think it deserves some coverage once I can actually make some videos on it. Anyway, next up, Diablo 3 console footage will be coming on the 30th. There's an embargo on the footage, but I have the footage recorded. I'm going in through the process of editing. It's going to include like a highlights reel, a full playthrough session for like an hour or something, and a first impressions review with me and 3 other guys, 2 of them being the 2 Awesome Gamers and the other one being Gamersheep, 3 other really cool Australian YouTubers. Recording that footage was one of the best YouTube experiences of my life. It was really, really fun, and I had a ton of fun playing the game. So please, if you're at all interested in Diablo 3 and you're thinking about maybe looking at the console, get hyped for that, because it's a pretty big deal for me. I feel like it's a pretty big deal that I was able to, go and cover this game before its release. It's pretty exciting. Get hyped. And share that footage around as much as you can once I release it. But it's coming on the 30th, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. I'll probably keep reminding you because, I want that to do well, and then maybe Blizzard will give me more games to cover in the future. Maybe they'll, let me play the Diablo 3 expansion pack. That'd be pretty nice. Anyway, the actual release of the console version is on the 3rd of September, and because it was so much fun, and because, I don't know, it just feels so good to sit on a couch and play that game, I might actually get it on PS4, PS3 as well, and I might pick up a capture card and cover it, because it's also a significantly different game to the PC version. Like, the metagame is going to be completely different. The way you play builds, because of a few of the changes, like in terms of mob density and the way you use the skills and things like that, I think a lot of the builds going to be really different, and I think it could be good to cover the game. Maybe, if I take some characters to end game in that and figure out new cool console builds, maybe you guys will like seeing that. But, I don't know, but I'm thinking about it. A capture card's not exactly cheap, so that would be a bit of an investment, but seems pretty cool. I'm keen to maybe do that, but I'll keep you guys posted. Next up, I wanted to talk about Path of Exile. I'll be doing still occasional Path of Exile guides. I'm planning like map guides. I'm making a Reave Shadow build at the moment, so I'll probably give you guys some updates and a full build guide on that soon, depending on how often I can play. I got HearthStone, Fun Fantasy, and all this other stuff going on, so Path of Exile has to take a little bit of a back seat at the moment, but I can't really stay away from that game forever because it's too goddamn good. And I'll also be continuing the Onslaught playthrough with Duked up until the point I die, but when will that be? I don't know. And something else I wanted to just mention in terms of Path of Exile is overall I can only possibly get a very small viewership for Path of Exile. I've probably all the people that are playing Path of Exile now and want to watch YouTube videos, at least the type of YouTube videos I make, are already watching my YouTube videos. Like, there's not too much I can expand there. And overall, the viewership is about max like 4,000, 5,000 views per new video I put out. So that's not enough to earn a living off. So Path of Exile in the future, and pretty much always, I guess, has been, is more of a hobby for me to cover. It's a game I really love, and it's a game I really want to continue covering to support grinding gear games and to support the growth of the community, and also just because I love covering it. It's like such a deep and interesting game. But it will probably never be much more than a hobby for me, something extra I can put on my channel. But, it all feeds back into it. But just in terms of, like, my mindset of that, it means sometimes it's going to have to take a backseat to me trying out these new games and giving you guys coverage on new games. I think eventually down the road, I want to be, like, picking, a few games that are releasing each year that I think are going to be really good. If I get hooked on them, I cover them in tons of depth. Like, like kind of what I'm seeing with HearthStone might be the case as well. Like what I've done in Path of Exile in the past. I'd like to apply that model to more games in the future. And I think Path of Exile is going to be a game that I cover for like years to come, probably. But, occasionally we'll have to take a backseat. But, that should always be bubbling. So if you're here for the Path of Exile content, expect that it won't be going away. Just that sometimes it won't be as frequent as it has been in the past. Anyway, Q&A time, questions and answers. I only have one question this week, guys. It's been like 2 weeks and you've only sent me one question, but that's okay. I got to remind you guys more. So send your questions, anything Path of Exile related, Fun Fantasy related, YouTube related, life related, anything, you know, if you want a bit of a mini Monday musings rant, send me those questions to QNA, QN for Neil, A, at ziggyd.tv, my website, or you can find the contact details in the description below. The question comes from Soul this week, and it is, any chance we'll see some Elder Scrolls Online coverage on your channel? And I have a few things to say about Elder Scrolls Online. Firstly, yes, I'll probably cover this game when it releases. I'm going to play this game because I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan. I've played pretty much all of the games except for, I think I didn't play Arena. But yeah, I've played, you know, most of the games, and I've played them tons. I've played hundreds of hours into a lot of them. So I'm a huge fan, but I'm a bit concerned for how this game is going. Recently, it's been announced that they have a subscription model in addition to microtransactions. That's dodgy. I don't like that. That's a bit rough. I don't want to see that being a trend. And also, there's been some of the stuff that has been shown I think is pretty good, but I'm also concerned that it's not really going to be an Elder Scrolls game at all. It's just going to be an MMO making some money based on the Elder Scrolls franchise. That's like my pessimistic view. I'm usually a pretty optimistic guy as well, so for me to say that is a bit... yeah, I'm a little bit concerned, but I'll definitely be covering it. However, I'm not going to do the whole it's like probably more than 6 months away. I'm not going to do like the 6 months leading up to coverage every week of, you know, the latest bit that's been released on Elder Scrolls Online. If you want to see that stuff, go check out Force StarCraft 2 Strategies or Force SC2 Strategies channel, because he's been doing tons of excellent coverage on Elder Scrolls. And if you're hyped for that game and you want as much information as possible, check that out. He does excellent coverage. I'm not going to do that thing. I'm going to wait until the game releases and then give you guys some thoughts and maybe guides on it if it's good, or I'll tell you why I don't think it's good if it's not. But that's pretty much my thoughts on Elder Scrolls Online. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really hoping it's going to be good, and I'll definitely be playing it and covering it to some extent. But to what extent depends on how good that game turns out to be, and how dodgy this subscription payment model thing. If I feel like they're gouging me, and if I'm not having fun, I probably won't end up playing it too long. That's pretty much the rule. Anyway, I think that just about covers the ZiggyD Weekly for this week. Remember, send me questions to QNA at ziggyd.tv so I have more things to talk about, because next week, if I don't have any questions, I might pull some things from comments, or I might just sit here for 3 minutes like this. Twiddling thumbs. Amy's cracking up at me. I think that's my sign to go. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.